If you want to go to my friend Gianno Caldwell right now, unfortunately, Gianno knows all too well about the real crime epidemic, and he is quite familiar with politicians' response to that. He joins us now. Gianno, whether we're talking Chicago or New York or now Philadelphia, it's kind of the same script we hear out of the politicians or DAs involved. What do you make of this?
I think the American people is speaking loud and clear that the soft on crime experiment must come to an end. I'm really hopeful that they're going to impeach this soft on crime DA when you look at the numbers, and we just saw from my colleague with this bipartisan impeachment committee, murders are up in Philadelphia. Not only that, you got businesses that are leaving left and right. If people, and I would encourage folks to go look at that Wall Street Journal opinion piece where they talk about major convenience stores closing down shop there, where they talk about Starbucks leaving and ending businesses there. This is hurting the people that live there, the working class people, the people like Fetterman and his district attorney claim to care about. They're being hurt by the policies that have been pushed by these group of progressive folks. And just a small note here, the city recorded over 9,000 retail thefts in 2021, but charges were only filed in about 1,000 of those cases. If you look at from when he took office, from retail thefts, it dropped by 70% from 2017 in terms of arrests, 2017 to 2021. This isn't where we should be as a country. You're encouraging criminals to commit more crime, and then people like me and my family have to pay the price for your delusion. This experiment must come to an end, and until people like him are impeached, Kim Foxx in Chicago are impeached, Gascon in Los Angeles, we're going to continue to see a rise in crime across the country because people they're speaking up, and the elected officials need to do what they need to do to remove these folks from office.
But they're not being removed, right? Gascon survived such an attempt. I guess they're going to try again. I want to get your thoughts on that because, Gianno, you hear again and again that those who criticize crime are deemed to be Republicans who are making a racist rant. Now, that's an interesting perspective that I want to get your reaction to, as well as Mayor Eric Adams in New York, who says it's a perception issue. You have 6 acts of crime on subways that carry 3.5 million people a day. So it's all perception. It's not real. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think for those who would say is somehow a dog whistle or racist, that's a bigoted, ignorant statement. People are feeling the real pain of their family members ending up dead. They're feeling the real pain of their family members being raped and stabbed and being robbed. Like, this is a legitimate situation. 77% of the country feel that this is a major issue. This is one of the top issues that voters are going to be voting on in the midterm election. So are all these people delusional? Like, is that what you're saying? Are you trying to gaslight us all and say that our families aren't being impacted by the dangerous policies that they pushed after George Floyd was killed? No, they need to stop it, Neil. But as long as they're going to continue to do it, voters are going to go the other way because they're not recognizing the issues that are impacting millions of people. People are in fear for their lives. For those who have money and able to move out of places like New York City or California, they're moving. But the poor people are being left behind because they don't have the resources. So this is one of the most bizarre things that I think I've seen politicians do in a long time, gaslight so much that to make people believe that the issue doesn't exist when they may have their purse stolen that same day.
Gianno, I know I told you this many times, my friend, but you took a horrible situation with the needless death of your brother and it translated it into ways people can understand. This is personal, and we've got to realize how bad this has gotten. You do your brother proud, my friend, and you wake us up in the process.
Well, and I thank you so much, and I want to keep the language consistent. He was murdered on June 24th, and he shouldn't have been. He was not the target. He wasn't involved in anything. But so many families, Neil, across the country are experiencing that same sentiment. They're crying every day, and they're calling people like the district attorney of Philadelphia and Kim Foxx, begging, asking, pleading for help, and their calls are being ignored. And we're going to continue to shed a light every time I get an opportunity to use this platform or any other I have access to shed light as to what millions of families are experiencing across the country now.
Just let me know the next time you're down in Washington and you want someone to, videotape what you're doing with politicians hitting elevator buttons trying to run away from you. Man, oh, man.
Right.
All right.
Jerry Nadler, yeah.
Oh, man. Amazing, Gianno. Talk about paying it forward, but what a price to pay.